Quick experiment. Close your eyes and try to remember your third birthday. Now, what do you see? If you're drawing a complete blank just like myself, or everything feels like watching a movie through some sort of frosted glass, congratulations, you are completely normal. Now, most of us remember almost nothing from before the age of 3, and even memories from 4 to 7 seems pretty fuzzy and sketchy. Now, it's not because you're not paying attention or because nothing important ever happened during that age. This phenomenon is so universal that psychologists actually gave it a name over about 100 years ago. They call it childhood amnesia or infantile amnesia. Hi, I'm Dr. Ingky, and today on The Optimized Human, we are diving deep into the fascinating neuroscience of why your early memories vanished and why forgetting might be the smartest thing your developing brain ever did. So let's put some numbers on this mystery. Research by psychologist Patricia Bauer and her team shows that most adults' earliest clear memory starts around the age of 3.5 to 4. Now, a landmark study published in the Journal of Memory by Peterson and colleagues followed children who had emergency room visits. Now, the kids under the age of 5 could remember these traumatic events clearly when interviewed shortly after it happened. But when the same children were interviewed years later as adults, these early memories had completely vanished. So we know the phenomenon is real and universal across all cultures. So the question is why? Why does your brain essentially delete the first few years of your life? To understand this, we need to look at what's happening inside your developing brain. First, meet your hippocampus. Now, this seahorse-shaped structure is deep inside your brain, and you think of it as a memory librarian, taking daily experiences and filing them away for long-term storage. But here's the problem. Now, when you are born, your hippocampus is like a library that's still under heavy construction while trying to stay open for business. A groundbreaking 2014 study in Science by researchers Paul Franklin and Sheena revealed something incredible. The very process that makes young brains so good at learning also destroys early memories. It's called neurogenesis, the birth of new brain cells. In your first couple of years, your hippocampus is a neurogenesis factory, creating new neurons at an explosive rate. But here's the catch. When a new neuron is born, it has to wire itself to existing neurons or circuits. And in doing so, it often disrupts the connections storing your early memories. Imagine trying to save important files in your computer while someone consistently upgrades the hardware. The new components accidentally overwrite the old data. Researchers proved this by showing that mice with higher rates of neurogenesis forget more things, while those with lower rates of neurogenesis retain memories longer. But wait, you do remember some things from your early childhood. You know how to walk, eat with a spoon, or maybe how to ride a bike. But you don't remember how you actually learned those skills in the first place. But your body actually remembers. This reveals something crucial about your developing brain that sets priorities. Your brain has two main memory systems: the procedural memory for skills and habits, and the episodic memory for life events. The brain regions handles procedural memory like the cerebellum mature much earlier than the hippocampus. So your developing brain essentially makes a trade. It puts all the energy into learning new survival skills like walking and talking, temporarily sacrificing the ability to create long-lasting memories. As developmental psychologist Patricia Bauer puts it, this isn't a bug, it's actually a feature of your brain. Your brain is optimized for what matters most, building the fundamental skills that you actually need for life, and not preserving every single detail of your diaper change. There is another crucial piece of this puzzle. You need a sense of self and language to create lasting autobiographical memories. Research by developmental psychologists like Robin Fovich shows that children don't develop a stable self-concept until roughly around 18 to 24 months. Before this, experiences happen to you, but you're not really encoding them as happening to a continuous you that exists through time. The mirror self-recognition test demonstrates this beautifully. Before the age of 18 months, babies don't actually recognize themselves in the mirrors. After this age, they do. And this recognition directly correlates with when lasting autobiographical memories begin to form. Now, language is equally as important. A fascinating study by Simhock and Hain found that children who experience events before they even had words to describe them often struggle to recall these events much later on, even after developing the necessary vocabulary. So without language, your brain actually has no file name to search for it much later. So you experience like park and birthdays, but you can't actually create the narrative structure that makes these memories actually stick. Here's something that even might make you question everything. The memories that you do have from early childhood might not be entirely real. Now, memory isn't like a video recording. It's actually a reconstruction that happens every time you remember. Now, research by memory expert Elizabeth Loftus shows that how easily false childhood memories can be implanted, especially when adults repeatedly tell you stories about when you were little. Even Jean Piaget, one of the most famous child psychologists, was fooled by this. He had a vivid memory of nearly being kidnapped as a baby. And until years later, his nanny actually confessed that she made the entire story up. So his memory came from hearing the tale over and over again so many times that his brain constructed a mental movie out of it. So this is why you should be extremely skeptical of anyone claiming they can help you recover detailed infant memories through hypnosis or other form of techniques. Studies consistently show that these early childhood memories aren't just hidden, they are actually physically gone, or they were never encoded in a way whereby we can actually access them. What people actually recover are often reconstructions based on stories, photos, or even pure imagination. So why are childhood memories so hazy? Your hippocampus is still under construction. Your brain was prioritizing survival skills over life stories. You didn't yet have the language of self-concept to organize these experiences in your brain, and ongoing brain development literally overrode those early memories. So instead of seeing this as a loss, think of it as a form of optimization. Your brain invested its early resources where they mattered most. Learning how to move, learning how to communicate, and how to understand the world around you. Only later did it start keeping a detailed autobiography. Now, by the age of 7 or 8, your memory system is actually fully online and ready to record a lifetime of experiences. So if you want your current memories to last, here's what research suggests that you should do. Talk about meaningful events with friends and families. You should write it down and also look at photos while telling the stories behind them. You're now giving your mature hippocampus better material to work with. So your hazy childhood isn't a failure. It's actually proof of a rapidly developing, healthy brain that prioritizes your future over preserving your past. Now, I would like you to drop a comment below. What is your earliest memory? And how old were you when you had that memory? Now, I'm curious if this matches science. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Optimized Human, and if you want more evidence-based insights like this into how your brain actually works, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.